oral cavity.
The oral cavity, and so this would be the nasal cavity. And these things right here are called the external ears or nostrils. Okay, very good. Okay, so when I take in a bit of mouse and I chew it up and it gets all the, mucus around it and I swallow it, it's now called what?
Bolus.
Bolus. And then it goes directly from my oral cavity into the
esophagus.
Pharynx first, and then to the esophagus. So I'm going to pull back this little bit here, and what's in the back here is called the esophagus. Posterior is the esophagus, and it's made out of smooth. It feels very smooth, so smooth muscle. Kind of makes sense. Okay. You might want to come around this side.
I'm kind of sorry.
Come on, in your face.
No worries.
Yeah, but put this stuff on Facebook. I'm just saying.
All right, so this is the esophagus, all right? On the front part, down here, where it's kind of hard, this is the trachea, okay? So, if I pull back the esophagus, that little bird beak, what's that called? Epiglottis, which is on top of the glottis. Very good. Okay. Here, do you guys see these two medial cords? Those are the true vocal cords. These two lateral cords are the false vocal cords. Okay? So, I'm going to put that back up. And that's all.
Close up the esophagus.
The vocal cords are not in the
pharynx.
The larynx. So this hard part right here, your voice box and the owl box, that's all the larynx, and that's what encloses the vocal cords. Okay? So larynx, and then this would be trachea. Trachea goes down into the lobes of the lungs, and we'll talk more about this next week, okay? So trachea, and then this would be the thoracic cavity. This would be what? Lungs. Very good. Lobes of the lungs. Okay. What's this? Heart. More specifically? Pericardial sac around the heart. Okay. What's this right here? It seems to separate the thoracic and the abdominal pelvic cavity. Diaphragm. Very good. It's a muscle. Alrighty. Let's see. All right.
Is it the phrenic nerve that gives you the hiccups?
It is the phrenic nerve that gives you the hiccups, and honestly, I cannot find it on this guy. So you guys see this kind of mesentery down in here. If you could see the phrenic nerve, it would be a very opaque, just a very small nerve-like
Is that
structure.
something we would have to identify?
Not on this one. We might pull out the other cat. You might be able to see it better, but I'll probably ask you what nerve innervates the diaphragm. We would say the phrenic nerve.
The who?
The phrenic
Not
nerve.
with an F or a PH.
PH.
Okay. I would spell that wrong.
Yeah. All right. All right, so here's the diaphragm. So we take in food, it goes down the esophagus, which is not next to I've dissected it here, or bisected it here, so you're not seeing it very well. So here's the esophagus. It goes and finally empties into what?
Stomach.
The stomach. Okay, so that's in the abdominal pelvic cavity, right?
Ours isn't that low, though. Our stomach?
Our stomach?
I thought it was up here.
It is. So if this
Just
is
like in a cat.
Yeah, if this is his arms, you guys see that guy right there? The diaphragm's going to be kind of at the very bottom. Right.
Of the lungs.
Right through here. Okay. Lungs relaxed. All right. So what are these called?
The lungs.
What now?
The lungs.
The lung? The liver.
Oh, liver.
Liver.
An idiot.
All right. And this right here would then be the gallbladder. The gallbladder. What does gall actually produce?
Bile.
Or store? Sorry. Bile. Stores bile. Right there.
That little bitty thing.
Yeah, that little bitty
white thing.
Huh?
Why do hot food mess up our gallbladder?
Why do what now?
Why do hot food mess up our gallbladder?
High food?
Hot food, like spicy.
Hot food? Oh, well, technically spicy food is supposed to be better for your digestion, so it increases your metabolism, but I think it's because it's very acidic.
I like my spicy food.
Yeah.
So when you get your gallbladder out, they take that little bitty thing and that's it.
Yeah, they take your gallbladder out, and it just stores bile. So you're still producing bile, but what happens is that when the sphincter of Odie is closed, all the bile is going to go up into the to the gallbladder and be stored there. And during that time, between meals, it's starting to be concentrated, and so that's what's actually being shot out into your duodenum. Okay, is that concentrated bile. Now you're still producing bile. It's just if the sphincter is open or closed. Is that cat hair running around here? Sorry. Okay.
Ew.
So here's the lobes of the liver. This would be the
Gallbladder.
Perfect. I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to expose the stomach. Okay. Okay? You want to come around this way now? Sorry, I'm having to move you guys back and forth.
It's
All right.
okay.
Here's the stomach, right? All right, right here at the very inferior end of the stomach would be what? Of the small intestines?
Duodenum.
Duodenum. Yeah, very good. All right, so that's the duodenum.
Which part is? I'm sorry.
Right there next to the, so here's the end of the stomach, and then that would be the duodenum.
So that's where the small
So
intestine
end of the stomach
starts.
and the small intestine. Yeah, this is the small intestines. The first part of the small intestine next to the stomach is the duodenum or the duodenum. Yeah, duodenum, duodenum. Okay, so now I want to expose the rest of the intestines. So I pulled back this. What's this called?
Some kind of apron thing.
The apron or the greater omentum, and I'm going to pull that back, okay, and I expose all the intestines in here. All right. So here, most of these intestines are the jejunum, right, the middle part. And inside here, you see the kind of windows I'm looking at here? Mm-hmm. Those are the mesenteries. That's like suspending the intestines inside the body. All right? So we come to here, and what's the last part of the...
Ileum?
Yep, ileum. And so this would be the large intestines here. So it would have to go through, you don't see it, but internal structure here would be what?
That.
The ileocecal valve.
Wait, so which part can you, like, just where would you put the pin for the ileum?
Oh, I would just put it here. It's
That.
really close to the intestines, okay?
Would you do the valve thing? Or would you ask that as a question?
I would ask that as a question.
Okay.
All right, so this right here, this kind of blind sac is the cecum. Okay? Attached to this in humans is the appendix. Okay? Now, cats don't have it. This pancake structure here, this is a lymph node, all right? This is a lymph node, this is a cecum. Cecum, lymph node. Alrighty?
What does the cecum do again?
The cecum, I'm not quite sure what its function is, but I know that the appendix is like the embryonic, during the embryonic development, it helps form the cecum, and then the cecum helps then to form the intestines. So to me, I don't remember if it produces bacteria or if it just holds it, and that's why it can get infected a lot. So I know there's bacteria all in the intestines to help break stuff down, right?
So the appendix is right? Is the appendix
The appendix would be attached right here. It's just a very small, it looks like a little snake. All right? Well, unless it's inflamed, right? But it looks like a little bitty snake and it's attached to this, okay? And that's why it can get infected, is that when this gets infected, a lot of bacteria build up, then it will infect the appendix and then it might rupture, okay? So here's the large intestine. So going up this part, what part would this be?
Transverse? Nope.
It goes
no,
up,
no, no.
ascending, and then,
Transverse.
and then,
Descending.
and then,
Sigmoid. That's the only one I remember.
yeah, sigmoid colon to the rectum, and then out the
Butthole.
okay,
Is he not fixed because he's feral?
right. So that's why you still
Sorry,
see
I've
this
only
scrotum.
yeah. Oh.
Wow.
So those
I
are
haven't
the,
seen a cat
that's-
like that.
Quite large.
Yeah, so that's the scrotum.
Sorry,
For
those
this
cats
big
don't
cat.
have
That's
that,
the
you know?
scrotum, and then that would be the penis. Okay.
I did not know what that looked like.
Yeah, because
Because all your cats
most
are
freaking
fixed, you
cats
know?
don't